What is up, guys? My name is Ben and you guys are watching the Bengineer YouTube channel. We are back on our 1963 case 310 bulldozer that I got for free. We've been dragging it out of the woods, working on it, getting it ready to hopefully take to the National Pike Steam Show this coming spring in May. Anyway, today we are going to jump right in and finish buttoning up this radiator job we did on it in the last video. And we are going to get this thing ready to actually put some serious runtime on it. I've got some filters we'll do, so we'll service the thing. And then hopefully we can get some of the wiring sorted out towards the end of this video as well. So tag along as we get this old 1963 bulldozer back from the dead. Alrighty, we are jumping right in today. And we're going to cut this filler neck here. It's for a gas filler neck, but it's going to be a radiator hose today. All right, we're on filler neck number 2 right now, actually, or hose number 2, because the first time I mixed up my inner and outer diameters. It'll happen. You'll get that on them bigger jobs. And yeah, needless to say, didn't get that one right. Had to run back to the parts store. We'll hopefully be able to slide this one up. Yep, there it is. And then slide this back down. Nice. And we are bottomed out. Awesome. And we'll come up here, cut this one long, but rather have that issue than too short. That ought to do. All right, now we're going to go ahead, before we fill this up and top it off, we are going to go ahead and put the exhaust manifold back on. All right, I know we're battling some afternoon light here, so hopefully you guys can see what we're doing, but just getting this manifold back going on. For all you new fans from Germany, that torque spec is for you. Good and tight. Alrighty guys, it's the next day. I got the muffler on and the manifold and then ended up getting sidetracked, had to go inside and it was dinner time. So it's rainy today. It's right on the edge of freezing. So it's actually pretty dang cold. We're right around 35 degrees right now, which isn't too bad. But what I do want to try is I want to try starting this thing up, without starting fluid to see how she cold starts, truly. And then also, I want to see if we have any leaks once we get this going. It's going to be tough because everything's wet right now, but we'll get a good idea. So, I did check. This wasn't apparent on the first one. I wasn't paying attention to it, but when I was running it the other day, I was looking back at a clip, and I saw oil pressure, and sure enough, we've got great oil pressure. I didn't cover that previously, but for anyone who was wondering at home. But anyway, got the batteries hooked up. Still don't have the key switch working, but we'll get there. Again, no starting fluid. This is just a good old-fashioned cold start. I I think it's just our key switch that's the problem, but anyway. We'll see what she does. Make sure she's in neutral. What a treat. She runs good. Yeah, no snip. None of the Cosby sauce. That was all on her own. And also, for those of you wondering, the grid heater's undone, so no grid heater either. Gotta put some more water in here. Wow, what a machine. I don't know how accurate this is, but this reads 0 normally. It's saying 80 right now, but at least it's reading something. Yeah, I'm not getting anything out of the key, but it honestly clears up pretty well. She definitely needs some more run time. The more time she gets running. And I put some oil in the fuel as well, so some ATF, so hopefully it'll clean up the injectors a little bit as well. So yeah, we'll just let her warm up here and actually let it get some heat cycles on it. Well, she's been running for probably about closer to 10 minutes now. We found our first leak. It's coming from the water pump area. It's pouring out below there, but not a big deal. Probably just the gasket, but we'll see. Plan to do a water pump on it anyway. We'll see what else we find. Not really seeing any fuel leaks or oil leaks over here. Now that we can see in there, you'll hear that rattling. It's a bunch of the plates there, but running pretty decent. Got her idled back down. She's honestly cleaned up a lot. A little bit of smoke, but yeah, she sounds good. She sounds good. We're gonna have to fix that water pump, but I'll get the hose turned on and fill it with some water. All right, I'm not gonna run her too much longer, but I'm gonna bring it forward so I can put it on the pavement here. Don't have to work on the mud anymore. those of you wondering at home why the heck I kept putting a board over the intake to shut it off, and why I didn't just pull the fuel shut off, because I didn't realize that there was a pull shut off. The things you learn every day. Learn something new every day. Alrighty, we are back at the dozer, and today I want to start it up, but I want to start it up by the key if I can. I don't have a new key switch, but we're going to see if we can fix this key switch. So hopefully we can set this up so you guys can see and get this lead. Those are plugged in. We're on volts DC, automatic, 0, 0. Alrighty, so now what we're gonna do, I have the battery on. I wanna find and verify my 12 volts in to the key switch, which is tucked away down here. I'm gonna jam our negative into our battery, and let me just verify that. Yep, all right, so we're good. We got you guys set up there, and you can see the screen. All right, so now we're gonna poke around, figure out which guy coming in is our power, which I believe should be this one. That's saying, oh, here, range. There we go. All right. Not getting anything there. Hardly anything. Not getting anything there. One more post to check. Huh. It should be one of these, but I'm not seeing any voltage coming up here. And these things are pretty crusty, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had an issue with power coming up. Alrighty. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, because the power cable I thought that was coming up here is not the power cable. So now we're doing something else. We got this switched to ohms of resistance, and what we're gonna do is check for continuity. So this guy right here, snuck in behind our positive on the starter solenoid, is our power up to the dash. All right, we're still good. So we're gonna put this here, and now I'm gonna probe all those same wires coming into the start switch, and I'm gonna look. All right. Huh. So the power that I thought was coming in here is not it. So who knows where that goes? All right, so now we're gonna try this. All right. So one of these needs to be power. The other one needs to be start solenoid. Let's see. Nothing. Still nothing. No signs of life, huh? So we're gonna have to do some more diagnosing here. Well, I think we'll end up having to take a look at our key switch. I think that might be part of our issue. All right, we are back. It's been a few days, but we got some parts and some time. So we're gonna work on the dozer. We got a new key switch here, which we have ignition, battery. I'll double check what the center guy is here, maybe ground. But anyway, got our new key switch here, our O'Reilly's special, but it'll do the trick. So ultimately, this guy, I ohmed it out, and it's not gonna do it for us. So we got to figure out how they got some of this thing wired, because it's kind of a mess. But we'll ultimately here gonna end up just undoing this all, tracing our wires back out, and starting from scratch, because we weren't gonna get anywhere trying to diag this without a new key switch. So go ahead, get this guy all undone, and then go from there. So here you go. As you guys can see, I mean, this thing is past her usable life, I think. Maybe I could have cleaned this up a little bit, but water gets inside of these things, and this is sealed. I don't believe there's a way to take this apart. Sometimes I've taken these apart in the past because they have little screws back here, but yeah, I don't think this thing's even really worth pulling apart. All right, so number 4 here is going to be our solenoid wire. So we'll do that to ignition battery accessory. So we'll put this guy to our ignition. All right, so with this guy, cut this. Alrighty, there's one. Now we need battery number 5 right here. Here's our battery, which comes up to this guy. All right, we're gonna come down here. We're gonna hook our signal wire back up, and we have our signal wire as number 4, which is this guy. So we'll put it back down on here. Get this buttoned up. And then before we go any further, I'm just going to try the key switch. So in theory, interesting. So this is the key out. So I have this wired wrong. I think ignition is assuming, wait, I think I know what's up. So I don't think this actually means ignition. I think it might mean ignition for a wiring diagram. Yep. I'm an idiot. I took ignition as starter. This is just a universal key switch here. So this that was referring to ignition as in like you're charged to a coil. Standby. All right, so the next thing we're going to do in today's video is we're going to go ahead and we're going to service this thing. I've got oil filters. I got one of the 2 fuel filters. The other ones are supposed to come in later tonight. We're going to go ahead and swap that primary fuel filter. It's the sediment screen pickup that is I'm still waiting on. But in order to do the oil change, oil filter, we'll want to get this thing warm and hopefully thin out the oil. Our temperature's been all over the place. It's probably back down to like the high 30s right now. It's a pretty brisk day, but lucky for you guys, not only are we going to test our wiring out, but we're also going to get another cold start. So as you guys know, our grid heater isn't hooked up and no spray. So this will be all on our own. Another little cold start. Probably a little smoky, but it's cold. we'll give her that pass. Alrighty, I only have one of the batteries hooked up, but we'll see if she wants to do anything. Let's see, we'll put the throttle in the halfway position. We're in neutral. I don't see nothing yet, but I also only have one lug of this plugged in, so I don't know if I need the ground, but we'll see if one battery can get her going today. Look at that. Nice. Nice. That was easy. That was too easy. Bring her down a little bit. All right, we'll let her warm up. We're at 26.48.0. We'll see if she moves. I'm not quite sure, but we do have oil pressure, so yeah, we'll let her warm up, do her thing, and then change the oil in about 10 minutes. All right, we are back under the dozer, and this time it's not freezing and we're not starting any fires under here. We're changing the oil. You'll see up forward where we got that water pump leak. It's leaking out of the mechanical seal around the shaft. So we'll swap that out. Most likely, I think we'll try and swap it out with the one that we have on our spare motor. I'm not quite sure the oil capacity. Oh, one more water in here. Figures. Oh! Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I was running that thing. Holy crap. Oh. I thought I had all the oil out, or all the water out. Clearly not. There's some sludge in there for sure. We'll let this catch up. Oh yeah, that was a little sludgy. She'll live. She's a tough motor. And that was just the bottom of the motor. Sure, I'm gonna get absolutely roasted in the comments, but oh well. We're changing it now. We haven't really put it to work all that much, so before we do though, so I run under here giving her a service. Oh. There's something in the... Oh man. Is that ice? There might be more ice. Let's see. It's either ice or a piece of metal, which would be hilarious. There's something up in there. All right, let's see if this mystery item is metal or ice. If I can get it in. Well, I think we need to drop the oil pan. I can't tell, and I don't want to run this thing any longer. If there's any doubts on what's sitting on the bottom. A lot of junk in there. Holy cow. Let's see if I can just knock this off. Yeah, there we go. Well, there's our belly pan. So it's pretty dang chock full of junk. Get this all scraped out. Oh yeah. Yep. Gotta pressure wash that out. All right, it's hard to see, but at least now we can see our oil pan. It does look like I'm gonna have to come around, undo the counterweight to be able to get up in there and remove the front oil pan bolts, but yeah, I don't know. Alrighty, hopefully you guys can see what we're doing here. Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna go around and undo our oil pan bolts here. And throw them in a little box. I am really still grasping onto the idea that our foreign object at the bottom of our oil pan is still just a chunk of ice, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, nope, there is one more. Oh, nope, another one up here. That makes sense. All right, now should be it. Should come out, hopefully. I think she's glued. I have to get some paint scrapers. Ooh, actually, I got this guy. There we go. What is behind door number 1? Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go. Ah. I guess that's good. Sweet. Just our oil pickup. Ugh. Oh. It looks like maybe it's even meant to do that. But I guess it's good we can clean our oil pickup. Huh. Guess I didn't need to do all that. I'm happy though. Oh, this looks bad. Whew. What a... Alrighty, so got our oil pan out here, and we'll finally be able to clear any sludge. Oh, we do have some metal in the bottom here. I don't know what that's from. We'll have to clean that out. However, at least our oil pan, or oil. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's a lot of sludge. Let me grab our paint scraper. All right. A little bit of sludge. Oh yeah, a lot of it. Pretty sludgy looking. That's a good thing we're cleaning this out. And then obviously we'll need to figure out what the heck these little pieces are. Hopefully it's not a bearing of some sort, but very well could be. I don't know enough about this motor to say for certain what these pieces are, but we have this has a little print on it, I guess. And that kind of looks like it goes there. Huh. I'm not sure. This is definitely a puzzle piece right there. I don't think that would be a bearing if it had that in it, but it's definitely gone around. This could be coincidence, but looks like there's maybe some, yeah, I don't know, huh? We'll be back. Alrighty, so I did some digging in the book here, and this is what I pulled out. It's not supposed to be a two-piece, but it does have this portion right here which connects like a puzzle piece into this guy. Now, the best I can come up with is that this is a camshaft bushing, and really, which specifically, it's going to be an intermediate and center bushing, and this is 1/2 inch diameter, and which this is about a 1/2 inch diameter, rather than the end bushings, which are somewhere around 1 inch to 1 7/32, depending on the part numbers here. I was looking at some other ones that suggest it's some models had about 1 inch wide bushing. But needless to say, here's the tricky part, or what's the head scratcher for me, is that there's 3 of these that go in the intermediate, so the center of the camshaft. I put my camera up and spun the motor, like barred it over a few different areas so I can get up and actually look at each journal where the camshaft goes through the block, and every single one had a bushing in it. So I'm not sure where this actually came from. Unless there's one that has like they're doubled up, so you'd use 2 bushings, but for one like the center right there, I don't know if it uses 2 half-inch bushings, because every time I put my camera up there, it was hard to see, but I could see a bushing in between the camshaft and the block. So gotta do some more digging, but that adds to the mystery. Alrighty, ladies and gents, I'm going to rescind my last statement there. I think I know where this is coming from. I was able to look up in there again, and I think this is coming from one of the center journals there, like I anticipated. I also, even if this isn't coming from one of those, I was looking again, and it looks like one of the center bearings was actually, or bushings rather, was starting to walk out, which would suggest maybe we spun a bearing. So I think at this point, I've seen enough where I know not to run this motor anymore. It does run very well, and which I'm shocked about. But what we'll end up doing, I think, is pulling this engine out and then tearing it down. We do have this spare motor right here, which I think, if push came to shove, might be how we proceed forward with this project. But kind of a bummer. I was really hoping this wasn't going to be the case, but I just want to make sure that we don't do more harm than good, and this is our opportunity to pull this apart and still salvage this motor, whether we use an in-frame kit or just strip it down so we can do bottom end bearings and dress everything up. I think that may be a potential, but if we're in that far, it's kind of smart to do O-rings on the sleeves and all that stuff. So with that, we're gonna end today's video. It's been kind of crazy. We went from wiring to cold starts to attempting to service this, but I don't feel confident moving forward at this point, and there's no use in putting oil and filters in it if I'm not gonna run this engine anytime soon. So we're gonna go ahead, start stripping this thing down, and yank this thing out of here, and we're gonna see how bad this motor actually is on the inside. With that, we'll see you on the next one, and hopefully we can get this thing back up and running in no time.